Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy. And if you're like me, you're not a big fan of the big orange reflectors on your front bumper on your BMW M2 or M2 Competition. So I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily change them. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I've never been a big fan of the big orange reflectors that are in the bumpers of US model cars. If you get the European models, they actually don't have these at all. So this is actually a requirement. And I've always liked changing them out, candidly. I think they really tend to stand out and can honestly be a little bit ugly, especially if you have a darker car, kind of like my Sapphire Black M2C. So these stand out really, really badly, and they're super easy to replace. And actually, these are going to be some of the easiest I've ever done. You don't even have to take out the wheel well liner or anything else. You can do it with very few tools and a heat gun, and it'll take you probably less than 10 minutes to do the whole thing if you do it right and do it quick. So let's actually take a look at what we're going to do. I've pulled one reflector off on one side because I wanted you to be able to see what it looks like off the car and also on the car. Now, if you can see, there's that 3M style kind of double adhesive that runs around the outside, and that's what we're going to want to warm up using a heat gun or even a hairdryer if you don't have a heat gun. The nice thing about a heat gun is they can kind of stand on their own, so I'm just going to stand it on the concrete and blow up into the wheel well. I don't want to overheat this. I just want it to be warm enough that I can start to peel this away, and I'm going to use my plastic trim tools to get in here to make sure that I don't score up the plastic. Also, this really is a narrow strip of the bumper, or your bumper cover right here, so you don't want to be prying on this or doing any damage that you're going to regret later, either to the paint or to the plastic. So the main thing is just being patient. I'm going to set my heat gun down here, blowing up into the wheel well to warm this up. And then, so if you can imagine that this is our reflector, especially because it's going to be warmest at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the bottom warm so I can pry it away a little bit and kind of get the tip of my plastic trim tool in. And I'll show you once I have that set. But it really is that simple. It's a little bit hard to show inside the wheel well, which is why I wanted to show you outside the wheel well like this. So we're going to take a break a few minutes. I'm going to let my heat gun run, let it warm up this piece so the adhesive is warm, and it's easy to clean off. Okay, so I just turned the heat gun off so you don't have to hear it running. You could always keep it on low just to keep everything warm, but you can start to feel that there's a little bit of more give to this. And like I said, today's a cold day, so it's not a bad day to be working with the heat gun, right? So I'm going to use my plastic trim tool and get it underneath the edge. Because if you remember how I showed you the reflector earlier, what I want to do is I want to get it underneath the edge between the bumper cover and the reflector itself. And as that adhesive is starting to warm up, so as you can see, I'm starting to get it underneath here. And what you'll see is there's a little bit of gap here now. So what you can do is just work this in and work it in to get a corner free. There we go. So as you can see, my plastic trim tool is now in between the bumper edge, the bumper cover edge, and the actual reflector itself. So now really it's just going to be a matter of patience and just working at it. And like I said, you can keep the heat gun on. What I don't want to do though is apply too much pressure to this outer piece because you could bow this. You don't want to hurt the paint at all. Now granted, you know, it's rubber or plastic and it's going to flex a little bit, but I want this project to look good and not, you know, bang my car up. So it's really just going to be kind of patience and working at it. So that edge is free. I'm going to start working on the other edge to slowly work this up. And what I've found is what you can do is work the edge of a plastic trim tool kind of up the edge of the adhesive. As you can see right here, I'm just slowly working it up and it'll work itself away. Now, if you're applying too much pressure, you know, turn your heat gun back on or warm it back up and it'll slowly peel away. Patience is going to matter more than anything else in this. There we go. So now I pretty much have one entire edge separated away from the bumper cover. And now I'm going to work on the other edge. So I'm going to pry this bottom away a little bit more so I can do the same thing on the other side. Now I can work my tool into this edge and just walk it straight up to get that free. So it's going to be like this. I've worked my way up one edge, I'm going to work my way up the other so it'll peel off and away. Once we get this off and away, we're going to clean all these inner surfaces with some isopropyl alcohol. I'll show you that, even though it's really simple. I'll show you that once this is out. But I'm just going to work my tool up this edge, separate it, and pull it out. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of the adhesive that got left behind. So this is where you're going to want to get as much of it off as possible. So what I find is actually, I use my hands a fair amount, and you can just kind of rub your fingers against it and it'll ball up, and you can pull it out in little pieces. So you can do that to kind of work it away. Again, your heat gun's going to help to keep that soft and pliable, so you can kind of rub at it and pull it off. And then once you get as much as possible, so go ahead and take some isopropyl alcohol and a cloth and wipe down all of these inner edges to get them nice and clean. So your new one will go in not only flush and flat, so it's not recessed at all, but you'll get a really good, clean setup with the new adhesive. So, all right, so all cleaned up. Like I said, just a matter of a little patience, your heat gun, and just making sure you get that all out. When you use your isopropyl alcohol to clean it off, which does a really good job of getting the last little bits of the residue, make sure that it's dry before you put this back on, because you wouldn't want it to affect the new adhesive. So these are from IND Distribution. It comes with a little tab on the corner that you can peel back, which will peel back to show the new adhesive, right? So now the other thing you're going to want to do is keep in mind that this front edge is partially covered by your wheel well liner. So you're going to want to slide it in that edge first and tip it into place. So just take it and just gently slide in. Try your best to touch as little of the adhesive as possible and just get it to work into place ever so slowly. So you're going to just get it until it fits, slide it up into place just like that. So, and then just really carefully work your way around the perimeter. Make sure that the adhesive is really set down really solidly all the way around, so you don't have any leaks. It's not going to get any water in there, or at least as little as possible. So just work your way around. Now, the other thing I would do is I probably wouldn't drive your car in the rain for at least a little while. I mean, this is good adhesive and it's supposed to be able to deal with weather, but you know, give it an hour or two at least, right? All right, as you can see, this is a really simple project you can do with almost no tools. Probably take you 10-15 minutes at most, and really makes a dramatic visual difference in your car if this is the kind of change you like to make. So everything you need will be listed in the description below. And if you like what you've seen, please click the subscribe and the alarm bell, because I have a ton of more projects coming across multiple models of BMW, and I'm really excited about it. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on my next video.